Hello everybody, good evening. Today is Saturday. I have no idea what the date is, as per usual. 20th of February maybe. And I just want to apologise for one, because I did post in my community tab on YouTube earlier on today that I was going to have a haul video uploaded for you next. Unfortunately, my anxiety levels today went through the roof, so I did intend on doing that. And then we had just a mo. Sorry about that, Grumpy wanted me. Then we had SES, so electrical alarm people come today. And it kind of like set off the anxiety that I've been really struggling to hold onto and contain over the last week. If you watch my channel regularly, you will know that I am moving this week coming. Towards the end of the week, we are moving. So this time next week, we should be in our new bungalow. Woo! And whilst that is really exciting and has been 2 years in the making and the planning, it's really exciting. But because of my mental health and where it is in life, I find things really overwhelming. I'm going to try and explain things. I'm not sure how they're going to go. I don't have anything written down. I've had a shower. I'm in a fresh nightie. I've got Frankie with me and I'm in my bed talking to you. This is totally not planned. Okay, so this is off the cuff. So yeah, I had hoped to have a haul video up for you now instead of me yabbing on. But I just couldn't do it. I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but when my anxiety is so high, anxiety levels are so high, and I'm like this constantly, my whole body feels like it's like this. I'm gesturing with my hands because that's how it feels with my whole body, like my legs are like jangling, and I'm really trying to keep myself contained, my anxiety under control. Otherwise, I will just lose it. And it's not that it's not a nice sight when I lose it. It's just not nice for anybody who's here with me experiencing that, or even for me and myself, because I do have personality disorder. So it's really hard to contain us all. We're all feeling very anxious at the moment. I think I talked about it just a little bit last week when we were at the bungalow, and saying that my counsellor said to take Annie to the bungalow with us because, you know, we don't want this anxiety to outshine this wonderful beginning, this wonderful next chapter of our lives, the start of it anyway. Because once I'm there and I'm unpacking and I'm organising and I'm sorting, I know I'll feel a lot better. Just at home at the moment, everything is literally everywhere. The only room that I am completely refusing to let store any boxes or anything in is in my bedroom, so that there is one room that is completely clutter-free. And I don't do very well at all with clutter. It reminds me too much of houses that I grew up in, and and then my PTSD starts, and so it just gets even worse. So that's why there is no haul video. But my husband's a real gem, and I've had a good chat with him tonight about how I feel and how I'm feeling, and it's almost like I need to know each day what is expected of me, what is going to happen, and that will help keep me calm. But as an adult we also all know that whilst you can't plan for it, while you try and plan as much as you can, isn't the saying goes, we plan, God laughs. So I know that the Lord is there saying, just calm down, just put your faith in me. But I'm a human being walking this earth, and that is a really hard thing to do. It's so hard to do. But I've been leaning a lot on my faith today and getting through the day. So I thought I'd use this as a coffee and a chat. Can't get me drink. I have got chamomile tea, not coffee before bedtime. So here in England, as I'm filming this, it is about between 8:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. 8:30 to 9 in my slang. And that's good. That was one of the changes I was making this year, was to try not to drink as much coffee. And I've been doing it. So, things I've done today to try and keep my mind occupied is change the babies. That does help, but it helps. But even the baby's room at the moment is just like, as you know, it's just chock-a-block. Everything's packed up now, isn't it, Frankie? The duvet covers are off the beds, but you're getting a nice new one. The duvet covers are off the bed, so I washed all of that. It doesn't look like the bedroom, does it? No. But you're all right, she's spending time with Mum. Yeah. The reality is they're only dolls. Yeah. There is that reality, and I know that. So if you're watching me for the first time and you're thinking that, no, I know that they are therapy dolls, so they do help me ever such a lot. And then I posted up on my Insta story some really nice photos of Annie and an Ellie Goulding song that I really love, and I've loved it ever since it first came out, which was years ago, wasn't it? And I had a good old cry. And then that made me feel better, because I had a good old cry as well. And then I've been on YouTube. I've been on my I've never ever been really interested in games consoles or anything like that. Don't have a PlayStation. Me and Russ aren't into anything like that until last year, when two of my children got Animal Crossing. Showed me Animal Crossing, and that's it. I am hooked on Animal Crossing, and I have been for nearly a year now. Can't remember when I first got it, but I know it was in the first lockdown, but not at the start. So I do enjoy that game as well. So I played a bit of that. But, with a move, you have lots of things to sort out. So I was also sorting stuff out. Ross has been doing a lot of the bungalow. I've been trying to do a lot here. And if you've been watching me for a long time, you'll know that I have been packing since before the last lockdown. Because, not the last lockdown, the first lockdown, when the virus first came out. Because this time last year, so February last year, our tenant was meant to be leaving, and we were meant to be starting to work on our bungalow, on the renovations. But then COVID happened. England went into major lockdown. No one was allowed to go to work until they figured out really what they were going to do. Just a very few amount of people. And so we had no builders or anything. She couldn't move, our tenant couldn't move. So we bought the bungalow 2 years ago. About now, Christmas time, 2 years ago. And we had a tenant in there, why we then saved for money to renovate. So I have been packing and organising since the first lockdown, which is nearly come to March, and it'll be a year. So I'm really chuffed that I've done that and haven't had to leave everything to the last minute. And also that we can't move anything over, but we don't have to do it. We can move anything over from Thursday, and we don't have to do it in a day like a lot of people. So we are really lucky in that respect. But also we want, this is ready to let as soon as, because we need to get some money back. We need to get some coffers back. Sit counting our money. Neither of us nor I have a pension, that you pay into. Well, mine would be minimal I worked in a private school, so it was completely different setup than the state, working for the local government school, which I did a bit later on. But anyway, so it's minimal. So that's why we own houses and we rent them. So that's our pension. So yeah, we can't have this one sat there empty, and that one over there has been sat there empty since January, February, March, April, May or June. I think the work started in June, so I think she moved out in May. I think that's how it started. So whilst we don't have to do it, whilst we're not moving in one day or one weekend, like the Saturday and the Sunday, like most people here would do. I don't know what it's like in other areas, but here in England, most people would move on a weekend, and the new tenants, the new owners, would get the keys on the Monday. So we want to be back next weekend to clean the house through, ready for the tenant. We have got a tenant, but it's all got to go through all the right channels. We're not private landlords. We have a letting agency that never put your drink over your baby, all right? Disclaimer, don't do it. Just because I did it don't mean you can. My drink's not very hot anyway, but I wouldn't want to get all that out of Frankie's hair. That was a silly move, wasn't it, Frankie? Yeah. This is a nice glass cup. Got this in IKEA years ago. It's just the right size for my little fruity teas, my little herbal teas, and it's also the right size for my Costa Tassimo hot chocolates. So thank you for listening to me. I really wanted to put up something, but seeing as I said I was putting up a haul, and I'm really sorry to the people that are waiting for that. I'm glad so many of you liked the latest pushchair I got. Wasn't that a steal? Hey, I don't mean I really stole it, all right? I just mean for £20 it was a bargain. Yes, I'm really pleased with that. Excuse me. So over the next few days, I've got to sort out my shed that's got my prams. Not that I've got a lot of prams, but I've got mostly pushchairs in there. But now, when Grumpy starts building my new shed over at the bungalow, I'm going to start back up my collection. I'm going to start back up my collections. I just love the old the old pushchairs that are colourful and bright like that. I just really love them. I mean, you do have to be careful with our babies, the colour going onto any of the vinyl. But the seat liner came today for it, which I got in just orange. So that came today. So that was nice. Did you see it? It's so bright, isn't it, Frankie? It's bright and sunny. Be nice putting that out, won't it, on the deck? Yeah, we'll have to get... I told Frankie that when we've moved and we've got the shed built, we're going to get Frankie a bike with stabilisers, aren't we? We're going to get Frankie a bike with stabilisers on. Yep. So that's been my day, really. Just trying to just not let all of the demons loose into the world and cause chaos. Because we really don't need chaos. And I am really proud of myself, because trigger warning here. There is going to be I mean, mental health, talking about anxiety, and that could be a trigger for some people. I understand that, I appreciate that. But the next thing probably is more for a lot more people. Okay, so just pause the video here if you don't want to hear the next bit that I'm going to say. I know it's intriguing and now you want to listen. I'll tell you what, look in the description. I'll write in the description what another thing that I'm mentioning here, which I think can be quite a big trigger for people. Okay, so pause now and fast forward a little bit. So I am really, really proud of myself. It's something I've been working on a lot. And what I used to do was, when I used to feel like this, I would self-harm. That is the only way I would get the release of all of those feelings. And I don't do that anymore. And I haven't done that for 18 months, 2 years. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself for being able to speak to Russ about it, being able to recognise them, because it's really hard. When I grew up, you didn't talk about anything. You kept quiet about everything that went on in a house. Everything that went on in a house, you just grinned and bared it. And that was the way that we grew up. And it was really, really hard to talk about it. And I didn't start talking about any of my issues until I was over 40. And I tried when I was in my mid-20s. I had my first nervous breakdown when I was in my mid-20s. But I just couldn't. It was just too difficult, too painful. Didn't know how to deal with it. Got to 40, and with the help of the counsellors, my children were older. I have such a genuine husband. Tells you exactly how it is. Not that I always want to hear it, but he does, and he's a trier, and I love him for that. I just haven't all my scars. I do still have little bits of scars, but they are, if you didn't, you might wonder what they are, but you probably wouldn't know that they were from self-harm, because they're not cuts like a lot of people see cuts, but mine are not cuts. So, but I'm really proud of myself that today I have managed to control it. I managed to talk to Russ about it, which we've done. I have counselling every week, and I've had counselling every week since I was 41. So it's horrible. It's a long, difficult process, and when you've got multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder, whatever umbrella you want to put it under, I put it under multiple personalities, because I feel like different people, I talk like different people, I wear clothing. You can usually tell who's about from how I act. So it's hard, it's tiring, it's exhausting. You have all of these voices, and you don't know what to do with them all. You don't know where to put all of that. And I used to have an anger problem, not to anybody else, more to myself, and get frustrated and just, I don't know, you didn't usually, I don't know, it's really hard, because I was taught lots of ways to get rid of my anger, because it obviously doesn't do you any good keeping it inside, and it would come out in ways that were not aggressive. Actually, it would come out in other ways, I suppose. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. But the best thing for me has been to be able to be open and speak to somebody. I do want to get a punch bag. That's because there are certain people, from my past that really need to have a smack in the mouth. They really do. They really, really, really need to have it. And I do. There are lots of things I do. So one of the ways, okay, let me just tell you, one of the ways to get that frustration out to the right person is I have a tea towel, and all it is just like, you know, when you get those, like, you can get like these rag dolls that are made out of like cloth, and all they've got is like just something around so you get a flat cloth, you pull a bunch of it up, you tie it, and it looks like a head and a floating body. It looks like a ghost. Well, that's it. And then you just kick it around the garden. I usually write the names on there. One in particular, and I just kick her right around the garden, and I smother her in the mud. Ugh. And I put her down the molehills. That was the counsellor told me to do that. That was really good. That works really well. To draw a picture. Pin it up on the post outside and throw things at it. Yeah, that works as well. So I do have ways. I don't get like that now. Because I guess I don't have a lot of so many stressors, because I used to be a teacher. I had 3 children. I had all sorts of things going on, and I had nowhere for this bit to go. Whereas now I can just, I don't know, it's just different. It's just different. The breaks in between each are because I can only upload 6 minutes to Video Show, which is the editing program I use, at a time since it updated. For some reason, I have no idea. For the last year, maybe, since it updated. So anyway, yes. So I am proud of myself. I haven't been doing that. I got through the day. I got through the day, Frankie. We got through the day, didn't we? Mum's special babies and Mum got through the day, and Grumpy's still alive. Also, I'm just like everybody else, fed up of lockdown. You don't go anywhere, you don't see anybody. You can't even go for a browse around a shop like you used to. So, you know, never mind, hey. But I don't want all of that to take away from the fact of how blessed I am, how very, 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 very fortunate we are to have this next chapter together. So thank you very much for joining me. I will have the video with the clothing. I'm going to do that first thing tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to upload it before I start doing anything else that I have to do, so I get it in the good light. Downstairs. I'll have to find out when I get to the bungalow which will be the good light for the videos, even though I do have my ring light, but it's now packed. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. And yeah, say bye, Frankie. Bye, everybody.